Well, on this absolutely glorious autumn day, we're in the village of, well, I believe it's pronounced Pettaugh. I may be wrong. And by the side of the road over here that runs through the village, oops, where are we? It's over there, look, coming down. Yep. There's a little stream here and running through this churchyard. And over here, I think we're going to cross over a little bridge. Let's have a look. There's a beautiful little bridge here that takes us from the car park and up a gravel path. On a slight rise is the Church of St. Catherine's. What a beautiful sight. Just look at that. That's glorious, isn't it? Absolutely glorious. The church is set on a high point of the land round here. It runs back down to this little stream. Most of the headstones seem to have been cleared from the churchyard. I suspect there were a lot more over the years, but it's glorious. Absolutely glorious. What a lovely setting, and we've got all these mature trees around us here. So I think we'll just walk up this path and have a look at this church. So as we got a little bit closer to this church here, we see this. Well, first of all, there's a magnificent tower, and that is absolutely fabulous. I suspect the tower is not quite as old, or it's been repaired. It's certainly in amazing condition. Absolutely amazing. A sweet little porch, which there again I think is a more modern addition, because the main building here which is very small. There's a different sort of flint style, and then we've got the rear extension, which is, well, it has those beautiful squared off windows, what I like, and a tiny little door. And we'll go and have a look at what this church looks like from the other side at the back. We've certainly got some older headstones here, and that's 17. Where are we? 17 something. Well, from this side of the church, and even though we've got the sun shining at us and it's making it difficult to film, but we can see that there are actually a sort of a Siamese extension, two extensions together sort of at the side. And most of this area of the church is rendered. It's got some buttresses that have been added to the back of that rear window, which looks like they were added to at one point to hold that wall up. Possibly when they fitted that larger window. I suspect that it's a larger and more recent window than the actual extension. I have to say that tower does look a lot newer in terms of its finish than the rest of the church. The churchyard this side is quite small. Well, there's a lot of trees and vegetation there, but there's an area running here beyond this churchyard. Now, whether this is part of the church, I'm not sure. It's a large open area. Certainly very pleasant around here. And a day like this really does justice to it, because it's just absolutely glorious. So if we come a bit closer here to the church, we can see these two extensions here, which are rendered. And then we've got the main church building, which is in a much older flint style. Lots of birds just flew up there. Though I suspect that that's flint that's all been repointed at some time. Another little door at the side seems to be operational. And then we've got this tower, which it's got a brick buttress that was added at some time to support it. This side of the tower looks older. Maybe the tower was repaired, or maybe it had fallen. So many things happen to these churches. This side of the church here, we've got a little shed and some chairs that are sitting in the sun. I don't know if I'd leave them out all the time in this weather. Or it will be raining at some point. There's a nice shot of the tower there with the sun reflecting on that flint. This certainly does look in such excellent condition. This side of the churchyard here has got a lot more older headstones. There's quite a large, rather attractive window here at the bottom of this tower. So, looking at the tower from this position, it seems to me that this is a fairly new tower. It's absolutely beautiful. The flint work is superb, but it just doesn't look that old. I like the little notice telling us which way up. So back at the porch, we've got two paths that converge at the porch. We've got the path that comes up from the car park over the river, or the little stream rather, and we've got another path that comes straight in from the main road. And both of these paths converge at the little porch here, which is ever so nice. Little meeting area here. We've got two benches next to each other. Now this porch is definitely not old. This is Victorian. It's a tiny little porch with a blue door, and the blue door doesn't look too old. You don't see many painted doors here. Maybe it is old. You don't see many painted doors in these churches. They're normally old wooden doors. Visitors are most welcome. Well, that's a good sign. So we'll open the door and step down into this church. We've got a font here which is kind of hidden away to the side. But of course, at the back of the church here, where the tower is, we've got a window in the tower, so it's quite an open area. Now all the walls are painted here. And the people that painted the ceiling here are the same people, I guess, that painted the door, because we've got a blue painted ceiling. It's amazing. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? This is a very pretty little church. I've never seen a ceiling painted like that before. Some lovely light fittings here. But now we've got very sweet and small pews. Got heaters on the wall there. Plain glass window with delightful edging. That's really nice. Let's have a look at that. I like that. I love these plain glass windows where the light comes in. 1903, 1993. There's history just in that one window. And on the other side, another window. And this one, of course, has got the light shining through. The reflections there are beautiful. And then we come to this area here. To our left we've got, built into the alcove there is a wonderful organ. It's just the right size. Just made to fit. And here, just behind this beautiful flower arrangement, we've got a pulpit. Quite low. Again. Just have a look up the stairs. There we can get a nice view of this church. It's a very friendly looking church. Very, very friendly. Now the altar is just a beautiful scene. Look at that. The sun shining through the window at it. And then really unusual window there with that solid stained glass section in the middle, which is really dark, and the light glass above it and below. It's very dramatic, actually. There's a memorial there on this wall. It's nice panel data work here. It's rather nice. The pews that we've got here in the front, with there again that beautiful light shining down through onto them, reflecting on them, it's beautiful. And these look quite modern, quite new really, but we noticed that on this one here, there's an inscription of 1615. So that's quite a difference. Well, this is a delightful little find, this church. St. Catherine's, with a beautiful window each end. Of course, this part here is the older part of the church, I think. You can see it's reflected really in the construction of that. still believe that the tower was either added on or replaced an older tower. And this porch is new. Here's, looks like a memorial, war memorial. It's 1939-1945 war. Just having one last look at this church, at the light and the reflections coming in, and that quite unique blue painted ceiling. There certainly is a uniqueness about this church. So quiet in here and peaceful and homely, very homely. If that's the right thing to say about a church, but it's lovely. We come back out into the really bright autumn sunshine. And I just really want you to see this, because it's difficult to express how beautiful the setting is here. The way the paths converge and the trees is simply glorious. And then of course we've got this lovely little path that runs down to the stream. Well, as they say, as pretty as a picture. Just a glorious church, St. Catherine's.